Hey parents, it's Mr. Ramstead, and I wanted to give you a quick tour of what you're going to be seeing from your student in their Tuesday folder as far as their math STAAR Ready. So this is everything that's going to be sent home. The first thing you'll see is your student's bubble sheet, including their answers. The only important thing that I want you to remind them of, which we're talking about in class, is on these things with the numbers in them. These are what are called gridables, and they need to make sure to mark, like in this case, this student wanted to write 24. So they needed to fill in the 2 and the 4 here in the tens and ones place. And whether or not they fill in the zeros is fine. They can either fill them in or not. But some students are still writing the 2 and the 4 over here, and since there's a decimal point there, that's 24 hundredths, which in this case would be incorrect, as 24 is the correct answer. So if you could just help support me in reminding them about that. The next page is probably the most important page, and this is going to be the thing with the graphs on it. I've been sending these home throughout the year, and so some of you might already be very comfortable with these. Really what I want to focus you in on is the bottom part here. You'll see here reporting categories and then learning standards. And in the reporting categories, it just kind of gives you overall categories that we focus on. So typically number 3 here, geometry and measurement, that's where some of the students struggle. Over on the right hand side, you'll see a number here that will show you how many questions there were and how many your student got correct. Right below that, you'll see the learning standards. And the learning standards are what a 4th grader needs to know when they leave 4th grade. And so you'll see the name of it here, and then it will tell you what that item is here, and then over on the right it will show how many questions talked about that and how many your student got correct. These are called the TEKS and TEKS, so you can look up more details on them online, but if you have any question about a specific TEK, feel free to email me and I'll kind of send you some more practical examples of what that looks like, because some of these are written where it might be difficult to say exactly what you're looking for. So on both the front and the back, you will have those TEKs, and then down at the bottom will be the individual question and response. And on this, it's kind of hard to do anything with this, but you'll see the questions that they got correct, and then any they got correct, like this student here, Miss number 16, it will put what the student wrote and what the correct answer was. So as you're looking through the test, then you'll basically know what your student should have gotten for the correct answer. This sheet, in my opinion, is going to be the most important one, because it tells you, as well as it tells the student and me, what does that student need to work on? So, do they need to work on geometry? Do they need to work on fractions, addition, subtraction, things like that? So this is where we're going to be focusing as far as prepping them to go to 5th grade. The next thing that you're going to see is most of them are pink, and this is the student reflection. So your student filled this out. Over on the far left, it includes the concept that they were taught. This essentially breaks down to the units that we did. Then the specific skill inside of that concept. Then after that, a couple of columns of test questions. These match with the questions on the test. Really think of this as kind of a more basic version of the TEKS. So comparing fractions is here. There were 2 questions, and there is a TEK talking about comparing fractions. This gives your student and you and myself a little bit quicker overview of what your student needs to work on. The one thing you'll notice is that all of them will have a line scribbled through above the word measurement. Anything that is written below that line as incorrect, your student has not been taught that yet. We're actually working on that in class starting now. So all of these items are all in upcoming units. So it was not expected that they would know those. So if you see circles down here, don't worry about them. We're getting to those units. On the back, they wrote themselves some reflections on basically what they missed on the test. So you can see up here they had to select 3 questions they got correct and justify them, but these were questions that they thought were particularly difficult, to kind of give them some confidence that they can, they can work through these tougher questions. Below that, 2 questions that they thought they got correct but they missed, and making sure that they understand misconceptions, things like that. And then 1 question they want me to go over in class, and what we're doing is we're picking off these one at a time in class. The next thing is the test itself. Because the STAAR Ready is a released STAAR test, we can send this home unlike other tests. And what you'll notice when you go through here is not only the questions, but your students' work. And what I'm looking for is something like this, where the student actually labels what they're working on and then justifies or disproves each particular answer and shows their work. So you can flip through here and you can see, where they are or aren't showing their work. For students that tend to be rather fast, they tend to not prefer to show their work. And so I try to focus them on making sure to show that so that they can show their thinking. But that is everything that's going to go home. If you have any questions about it, a particular question or how you can support things at home, please feel free to email me or call me so that I can help you with that. Thank you.